Good morning, Suzanne Joy.
Good morning, Deborah, LeeAnn.
So, our topic today, I didn't even put this together, but since I've started studying the codon rings of the gene keys, we are completing the codon ring of union, and we're studying or talking about or chatting or whatever we're doing, contemplating gene key 59.
Okay, so Gene Key 59, and this is written by Richard Rudd of the Gene Keys. And it is all about the shadow part is all about dishonesty. And it mimics two different ways. One is excluded, so kind of separates oneself. And the other is intrusive, which isn't everybody else's business. Um, so yeah, we've seen that around, haven't we? Um, and then out of dishonesty, once we get really clear about who we are, intimacy forms. We get closer. And out of that, then the acidic state is transparency because there's nothing left to hide or
Mute or heal or
right. Right. But it's even more, it's more on an evolutionary point where you don't even need to.
right. And that's what I'm saying is that there's so much with dishonesty. I thought, oh, it's about lying. And I immediately think of dishonesty as in between ourselves and another. And it's actually the most prevalent dishonesty is within.
Right.
It's not looking at all of our own wounds.
Correct.
And which is why I can see how the Venus sequence would support this contemplation, especially of the Ring of Union, because each of these different facets of divine love are the shadows all have to do with our wounding, and which is not even just ours. And we don't. This is my unlearning of after so long having to know why, where did that come from? Was that from my mother, my grandma? It's not about that. It's about going, oh, yeah, I'm carrying this wound. And you know what? It's very often a collective or an ancestral, or it's so coded in our DNA from previous lifetimes or whatever ancestral that we're unwinding the wounds now. And that is what I believe our job is. Our role at this time in the evolution is to allow those things to come up and to love on them. And I love how Richard said it in his audio transmission. He said, and with kindness and patience and like you would a child.
Yeah, and I had a clarity yesterday that came through about that, and with the energy that is happening on the planet right now, you're going to feel probably a lot more coming up, and not to attach anything to it. Don't create more meaning in it, but it's just as high frequencies are moving through us. A lot of the other old ancestral stuff is bubbling up, so we're feeling it for sure. And not to be fearful of that, just recognize what it is.
Yeah. And that's a great reminder because I think we can see so much of all of that out there that we're not realizing that that all is helping us to heal our inner stuff.
Right.
Every time that something like that shocks us or annoys us or angers us or hurts us on some level in what we're reading and consuming on the media, there's a direct link to something that I believe it's our way. It's the realms, the higher realms are going, hey, heal this. They're trying to put things in front of us like mirrors so that we can
Right.
go, oh, yeah, that's a part of me too.
Well, and not to jump into it, but like when we talk about intimacy, well, first of all, this whole key, I believe, I love the crux of it is it's all about behavioral integrity. So it's taking ownership of how we act or react, and as the case might be. When we reach that point where we can see our own wounding and we can pause and say, how do I want to behave right now in this interaction? Am I going to choose love or am I going to choose
That
react?
old stuff.
The
Yeah.
old stuff, right? And so it was talking a little bit about intimacy, and intimacy is when we're no longer triggered and we can continue to keep our heart open and not react. But, you can see
But
it.
even if we do react, can we keep our heart open? I think that's what we're learning now, as opposed to closing down and backing away or lashing out. It's like, oh man. And I've had to do that a lot lately in conversations, going, hold on, I just need to regroup here, you know, because I know if I keep going, I'm spiraling into the crap. So yeah, I want to hear more your thoughts around the intimacy can only grow when we can be honest with ourselves, aware in ourselves, aware of when those reactive tendencies or responses are showing up. And then,
Well, and I just want to say, I love the fact that this is tied with the Ring of Union, which is also the first key that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is all about forgiveness. And, when we talked about the Ho'oponopono prayer, it wasn't, it wasn't about giving forgiveness to someone else. It was actually a lot of self-forgiveness.
mm-hmm.
And so, can we move with an open heart? And if we are triggered, recognize and forgive ourselves for being human, the human old stories, not attached to it, and continue moving forward and with an open heart.
And this is where pausing, I think I'm putting it together. Thank you, Richard. I mean, how many years ago did I buy the Art of Contemplation book? And, I have the app, the Triple Flame app on my phone, and on occasion I'll do it and sometimes I don't, but I get the reminder and that's enough for me to sometimes go, okay, pause. But I tend to think of that as for me to contemplate, to stop what I'm doing. But if we can do the pausing in the middle of one of those conversations that might be triggering something, that's a beautiful way to use that pause and go, okay, I want to remember my heart. I want my heart to stay open because I'm choosing love, or however your self-talk goes. And it's okay, dear one, to feel that stuff, but let's not hurt another. Because I think what happens is when we hurt, I used to think that you have to feel the same thing as me to love me. Like you just need to feel it with me. What kind of love is that? Childish. It's a young love. So intimacy is so beautiful because it is so honest. It's the ultra honesty because we're bringing our honesty forth, which allows the other person's stuff to relax. So I notice every time I recalibrate to respond in a different way, when I pause and do my thing, it allows my partner to go, he takes a breath and drops into his heart and everything shifts.
Yeah. This is what heart math, I think, is really good for a lot of, their research.
Yeah.
And even, my husband deals with emotionally focused therapy, same kind of thing, where people are taking ownership of their emotional states. And it's telling you something. So being aware of that.
It's not saying hurt the other person.
You're like,
no, I'm joking. So do we have, in our couple minutes left, should we go into transparency?
Yes.
That's fascinating. I mean, that is like a whole another level of where we're going.
Um, the when I looked at an archetype from Unlock Your Design, and they call it the playmate. It is literally embodied presence
Ah,
because there's nothing there to catch or evolve, or it's just you breaking down all barriers, and it's playful.
yeah. And it allows us, I think I remember hearing why we fall in and out of love, that yearning that we have for that deep, deep, immersive kind of love. We can touch it, but we can't stay there because we're not calibrated for that yet. So this is going to allow us to get to that orgasmic, enmeshed love and stay in our wholeness. I guess
Yeah,
that's
and it has no judgment attached to it at all.
none. Well, nah. Transparency, I kind of think of that you become invisible and that you're just part of, I believe you kind of melt into the allness of love.
So as Richard says, every man, woman is our genetic brother and sister, and no single individual, family, tribe, or nation is an island. And you recognize that. And once you recognize that, that's where unity is formed. You're
Yeah.
not going to hurt another.
And I love that the final quote in the book, The Gene Keys, is we are all one genetic tribe moving through a huge and transformative period in history, the end result of which will be the realization of our unity. Um, which just makes me like cry. So the mudra is you put your knuckles together and your thumbs touching right on top. So it looks like that. that. And if you want to put your like fingers so they're actually touching your sternum and you're right in front of your heart, this is the ring. I mean, this is the key of transparency. And notice nothing is crossed. Everything is touching, but it's nothing is in the way or constricting any energy flow to anything. Mm, love that. Thanks for being with us.
Till next time.
Yes. Take good care. Shine your light right now. Boy, do we need it. Thanks.